Hello and welcome to The Hill with April Ryan. We start this week with the news of Hunter Biden. The son of President Joe Biden has pleaded guilty to 2 misdemeanor charges for failing to pay taxes, which he has already reimbursed. Biden also faces a felony gun charge, but legal experts believe that could be dismissed if he meets certain conditions under a plea agreement. The Justice Department has issued a consent decree for the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, for its repeated pattern and practices of discrimination and abuse that were not held to account within the police department there. The report also shows that the George Floyd death was not the first time someone screamed that they could not breathe to police officers in the Minneapolis department. I spoke with State Attorney General Keith Ellison about the decree that will lead to an overhaul of that policing agency.
The state of Minnesota, which my office represents,
Yes.
the state of Minnesota Human Rights Department did an exhaustive investigation. It seems to me that it's kind of undeniable that we have a problem. We can't just say, well, now that Chauvin's convicted, on back to normal. We have to deal with these very serious problems. Our state investigation says that the state of Minnesota said there was a problem. And now the federal government, which has probably the most experience at pattern and practice investigations, have found the problems as well. But I'll tell you one thing, April, if I may, back in 1997, a lawyer, a civil lawyer, not me, sued the city of Minneapolis for a pattern of excessive force and discriminatory conduct, and was found by a jury in Hennepin County to be liable back then.
Henrietta Lacks has been nominated for a Congressional Gold Medal posthumously. The Congressional Black Caucus has unanimously supported the medal for the Black woman of Baltimore, considered a medical pioneer. Johns Hopkins Hospital never received permission to use the cancer cells of Lacks in research that has been used to this day to advance breakthroughs in the polio vaccine and treatments for cancer, HIV, and Parkinson's disease. Lacks died of cervical cancer in 1951 in Baltimore, unaware of the profound impact her cells would have on future medical advancements. Baltimore Congressman Kweisi Mfume pledged to reintroduce legislation to honor Lacks with the nation's highest civilian award for her massive contributions to medicine. Staying in Baltimore, the city that I love, Congressman Kweisi Mfume is still pushing to have the likeness of late Congressman Elijah Cummings grace a U.S. postal stamp. Mfume reintroduced the bill in mid-January because he could not get movement on the bill in the last Congress. Oversight and Government Reform Chair James Comer now has a request to push for a hearing for consideration on this resolution. Mfume said he has also written a request to the Postage Stamp Commission for selection of an Elijah Cummings stamp. He is planning on writing them in hopes to have this matter moved to the next step for the approval by the end of the year.
Oftentimes people die and are buried, and that's it. And for 42 years, he and I were friends. I mean, every day kind of talk about everything, friends. So Elijah had a major impact on the Congress, on the political process, but he also had a major impact on the Maryland legislature when he served there. And friendship aside, I think that when people do great things, we have to go sometimes to great lengths to make sure they're remembered, particularly for the generations that grow up that we're not living at the same time.
That's it, and thanks for watching. See you next week for the latest political news and views about us. Peace.